So I got asked by a Discord server that I'm in to do a makeup tutorial for the makeup that I did last weekend. So I'm gonna do that. But before that, and while I put my primer on, I'm going to talk about a brief update. So if you don't want to know about my health, if you're just here for the makeup, then I don't know, skip ahead. But basically, so the last time I was on here, I talked about going to the neurologist and having a really good experience. Well, I waited until the beginning of the year to look into doing like the testing that she wanted to do. And drop that, oopsie. And so I called on like the 2nd, and I was like, hey, my doctor's office can't do the blood work that you want to do. Can you just like send it to the hospital? And it was like 5 o'clock on the 2nd. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I was like, just call me back Monday. So Monday, my neurologist gives me a call. My neurologist's office gives me a call and says, hey, we got your message on Friday, but unfortunately, the clinic that I was seeing my neurologist at wants an MD, and she's a PA, so they're not going to be able to see you anymore. And I'm just kind of like, what? Then she's like, yeah, she has to basically get rid of all her patients, and like, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 but my hands are really tied. And I was like, what do you mean? And so I was like, can you at least give me a referral? And she was like, no, my hands are really tied. The best thing I can recommend is going back to your primary care provider and just starting there. And so I was like so mad and so frustrated, but also at the same time, I just felt so burnt out. I still kind of feel really burnt out because I worked so hard to see her. I got there, I didn't even really get to do anything except spend $300 for no reason, and now I'm back at square one. And literally back at square one. Like, I have to see my PCP, I think this Wednesday, and talk about, like, essentially starting the referral process over. And, you know, don't think I just, like, let this happen and my hair looks so silly right there. That I just let this happen and like let them walk all over me. I put a complaint out on my neurologist license because a doctor, a medical provider in Texas cannot abandon you. They cannot just dump you off. They have to give you 30 days written notice that they're leaving the practice. I got no notice. So I put a complaint out. I don't know if anything will become of it. I don't know. But we'll see about that. So I'm literally back at square one. I have been feeling better at least. So that's been good. But yeah, no, back at square one. So anyway, that's the update medical wise. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do my makeup. So I start off with just using concealer in places that I feel like I need it. I don't really like just eyes and any place where I have like some like skin damage. My cat's trying to beat down the door. Why not? And I just kind of blend that in. I'm also doing this on my phone. I can't really see the mirror that this is on. So if this ends up looking awful, my bad, I guess. I'll redo it next weekend. I also don't have my phone holder, which is why it's on the mirror. So that's kind of creating issues too. I left it at work. So this might just be a test run. Who knows? If you actually see this, then it wasn't. It worked out well. So just kind of blend that all in. And then, so this is like I literally got this on clearance. But it's just like a Maybelline. It's a little bit darker than my actual skin tone. And anytime, it's a little bit more full coverage than the actual foundation I use like on a daily basis. Which is literally just like a tint. But anytime I like actually do my makeup, I use this one. Again, just maybe like a shade or two darker than my actual skin tone, but it works really well, especially for this kind of makeup, especially for gyaru makeup. Which, by the way, if as I'm talking about this I pronounce anything wrong, please let me know. Even if it is an English word, please let me know, because I can't pronounce anything. Truly. Like, genuinely not trying to be disrespectful. I love this style of makeup. I love gyaru culture. I think it is so cool and interesting. So, absolutely no disrespect. I genuinely love it. So, just kind of blending that all in. And this is a dewy foundation, so it's always gonna look a little bit wet until you do something about it. Okay. So now that we have that, also the concealer I used is a Maybelline one. It's like the best concealer ever. A lot of drag queens use it. And that's why I started using it, because I used to use the Tarte Shape Tape, but it's really expensive, so I started using the Maybelline one, and it's just as good. So typically when, like, I do my makeup, I do the eyes first, because if you screw it up, you can always, like, take the makeup off and redo it. But if you do, like, your whole base and, like, all of this before, it makes it way harder to go back. But for this makeup, I don't know. I've been doing the base first because it just sort of makes more sense to me to do that. I don't know. I can't explain it. And I might end up doing this differently in the future. But basically, this is just a liquid contour bronzer type situation. And I just kind of go up here and down here. I kind of use it to, like, make my jaw a little bit more defined. When I was a kid, when I was younger, like in high school, I had a super, super, super defined jaw. And then, like, as I got older and, like, finished puberty and, like, gained more weight, it has, like, gone away. And I kind of miss it. It was cute. So usually what I do is I just kind of, like, blend it down my neck. It kind of makes my double chin, I don't really have a double chin, but it makes, like, this fat right here go away a little bit better. So that's kind of why I do that. And this looks insane before you, like, blend it all out, and then, like, you put powder on it so it doesn't look quite so dark and just like you got, like, some mud on your face or something. Like, it really just, it looks ridiculous, but with makeup, you just have to trust the process. I don't know how to put it, and sometimes you trust the process and it looks like butt anyway, but that's just part of learning. It's also, there's such a glare right here because of the window, so it's kind of hard to see the side of the face. Wonder how that will affect me. I used to do the liquid to, like, do the nose contour, but it's, like, it's too much, and it, like, spreads too much. So that's actually, I think, all I'm going to do with, like, liquid stuff. So this is a sufficient base that I'm happy with. You used to do a lot more with liquid. I don't know how to keep it clean, though. It just gets everywhere, so. I use a lot of setting spray through all of this. My skin, I'm not oily whatsoever, I'm very dry, but my skin just kind of, like, it releases a lot of oil, but somehow I'm not oily, and makeup will just shed off through the day, especially around my eyes, which is why I put on the eye drops. This is, like, a huge thing that I learned from an eye doctor and that I have used for the past few years, is, like, if you have, like, watery eyes like I do, just put like some eye drops in before you do your makeup. Some people like really don't like eye drops. I understand that, it's kind of gross, but that has helped me tremendously. And also just like a good primer and like a lot of like powder products has really helped me too. But my makeup still just slides off throughout the day, I can't lie. Okay, so that was just a random bronzer that I like got from Marshall's, that I just kind of used to blend that out a little bit. And then I'm so congested. So then I just use this like little NYX blush. I don't care for it, but I didn't wear blush. I didn't wear blush like at all. Like the past few years, I would say probably since like 2018 maybe. So I don't really understand blush very well. I don't really understand how to make it look super good or super natural. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of strong opinions on blush. And then this is just a random highlighter that I got from, I think Marshall's too. I think it came with the bronzer. But just kind of do that in there just to like lighten up the under eyes a little bit. And that's actually all I do with this particular highlighter. I'm going to go back with something else in a little bit, especially on the nose and like inner eyes and everywhere else. But for that highlighter, it is super sparkly, and that's not really like something I'm looking for in this makeup look, unless it's this, which we'll get to this, trust. We'll get to that. Okay. This is ColourPop loose powder. It's like kind of like a setting powder, but it's awesome and I love it so much. So I just kind of pack it in right there. This was very 2016 mechanics right here, but pack it in right there. It also kind of fills in like, I don't really have under eye wrinkles, but it fills in the ones that are there, so makeup doesn't just get trapped in them and make me look old. So this will set your base, anything that hasn't been set already. It will make it a lot better for powder. And it just evens it out. It looks nice. And then I gotta take a smaller brush because the one place I really didn't do is my like eyelid. You can, but then you get it like in your eyelashes. Not a big deal. You can just like get it out and put mascara on it, but to me that's like that's difficult to do. So and that will set your eyelids too. So hopefully, you know, makeup should stay where it's supposed to be. So now I'm going to do another just layer of setting spray just to like make it a little bit easier to put product on. I'm going to take a sip. And now I think I'm going to do the nose. And this is what I've really struggled with. I think the last time I did it, I figured it out. Hold up. Okay, I accidentally ended the whole video. I meant to pause it. I hope I figure out how to edit those together. Surely I will. This is the part that has been super hard for me. But I think the last time I did it, I figured it out. So basically what I'm going to look at the mirror above, because I got to be kind of precise with this. So what I do is I use this eyebrow pencil just to kind of map where I'm going to put the contour. Ooh. That's not straight. Okay, see? This is why you map it out. So we'll just kind of get rid of that. This is even worse, bro. Okay, but I think actually, truthfully, I can make that work. Because what I'm going to do is, like, go in with this and just kind of clean up the middle. And then, like, I can blend it out. Yeah, okay, so that is a little bit better. So now that I have it mapped, I'm going to use this, like, contour palette that I've had for a minute. And it's shattered, so I gotta be really careful with it. The highlighter is, and it's really messy. I'm going to use, so I can't hold it up, but it's the bronzer one in there, and just kind of see if I can do that. I think that's what I figured out last time that I liked the most. But I need to use a specific brush. That was something also I figured out last time, or it's like way too dark. Okay, I think I'm going to use this one. It's really dirty. It has clay on it. Because I'm always doing the most with my makeup brushes. Yeah, I gotta concentrate while I do this, because you can make it look really silly if you want to. But that's kind of the thing I like about gyaru makeup is, like, you can kind of do whatever you want within reason, and it'll work. And now, like, well, okay, I feel conflicted about that, because, like, everything I've read is like, ooh, gyaru, gal is mine, like, you can make it what you want, this, that, and the other, like, there are sub-styles for everything. And that's really cool. But, like, if I'm just starting out, I want to be respectful. I want to do it right. This is... Girl, I better cut that out. And basically, I'm just building it at this point to make it a little bit more pronounced. Because that's something I really enjoy also about gyaru makeup is, like, the nose contour is ridiculous. Especially with Yamamba. Like, I would never do Yamamba, personally, but, like, I love nose contour. It's so funny. It's so good. I love it! So this is, like, pretty well, right? You see, like, it's super, pretty darn dark. So now what I'm going to do, this is a ColourPop palette, and the white, yeah, the white, Young Love. It is the best white that there is. It is so good. I'm just going to go in. I'm also going to look at the mirror behind this for this part because and just kind of accentuate that. Yeah, okay, I'm liking that. I will probably do a little bit of, like, blending over here, but I need to do the eyes first and kind of see how that's looking. Okay. So I'm digging that. Looking good. So now I think I'm kind of at the point where I need to at least think about doing my eyes. And that has been also something that has really intimidated me. But before I do that, let me do my brows and, like, this part right here and then kind of go that direction. Okay, I had to pause to clear my throat again. Okay. So I'm going to do my brows. I'm going to look up here to do that because my brows are super thin. My cat is beating down the door. So I kind of map them out first. And just kind of fill it in. And then I'll blend it here in a second and get rid of like the line that's right there. Also, my cat can open the door. He can open it, so I don't know why he doesn't just open it. It's actually not locked at all. He can just open it. He can just push on it. So I'm kind of mapped. And then... and then blend it. Okay, so I'm happy with that. They look a little bit uneven, but truthfully, this is something I've discovered. One of my eyebrows is like, sits naturally, like just the shape, like the muscle sits lower than the other one. It's been way worse since I've been sick the past few months. So sometimes my eyebrows look uneven, and I don't know what to tell you after years of trying to figure it out. It's literally just my anatomy. With the white, and we're just going to pack that in. In the inner corner, going up to the eyebrow. So you kind of see the vision. You see where it's going. I just kind of get it to a point where I think it looks good. Blend it a little bit. Right. So now, okay, I gotta think about how I want to do this. What I've been doing is I do like the top eyeliner, the wing, but it's not really wing, that goes down first, and then I kind of connect it. And I'm going to have to look at the mirror behind me because it's really not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but I'm intimidated by it. So, best little e.l.f. liquid eyeliner. Probably don't need to use liquid, but I have used liquid for like about 10 years now. And so I can't use anything else at this point. So usually what I do, okay, I gotta lean way in. I might cut this out because I don't want y'all looking at my neck or my chin. But basically I just bring it straight down. Like that. And I never do them even, I've discovered. When they go down, I cannot ever do them even. So like that, I kind of got some on my upper eyelid, but I'm gonna go over it. So use that kind of as a guide, and then just kind of make the rest of the eyeliner shape. So you kind of see the direction it's going here. And you can always bring it out and like make that more of like a proper wing if you want. But I'm not worried about it at this point. It usually just will work out. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Right, getting there. Got some on my face. What else is new? I'll put some concealer, but you really can't see it though. Might just leave it. So, continuing. Right. Okay, so they're not even, but I'm hoping when I can connect them, it will work a little bit better. Like this eye turned out really nice and this eye did not. It'll be fine. So now I'm going to do the droop. I gotta concentrate. I bring it to about, what I've been doing is I bring it to about the middle-ish of my eye. I'm gonna bring it over a little bit more. And then I kind of just, maybe a little bit. You just kind of go down. I just got it on my face. Okay, that's fine. And you sort of bit like that. All things considered, not too bad. Now, the hard part is making it even on this side. Ooh, that was scary. I also typically don't use liquid eyeliner on my lower eyelid because if it gets in your eye, it stings really bad. Okay, that seems about the same distance, so just bring it down, bring it over. Right, right. Okay, we lived. It's just about even. Maybe it needs to be a little bit thicker over here. There we go. See? It all worked out. All right. So, swoop, done. Which that is also not what it's called. I'm blanking on the name right now. I am so sorry. I kind of like to fill it in like the inner eye too. Again, I'm careful with it because if you get it in your eye, it hurts. Kind of filling in the inner eye. I don't have a lot of space between like my eyes and my nose, so I don't ever do anything like in the inner eye because it just doesn't look right on me. So now what we need to do is like this part, which also has a name that I'm not remembering at the moment. I also map that out with this. I gotta hold my eye a little bit. So I kind of do that a little bit, and then I think I'm going to use, where's the brush that's covered in clay? There it is. I'm just going to kind of blend that a little bit with like the bronzer that was still on it. I'm just going to get a little bit more. Just kind of blend that. But also like the way it did nothing, you know? The way it did nothing. I truthfully don't really understand how to do this part. I'm gonna be honest. It always looks so easy when I like see videos of it, and then I do it, and I'm like, that didn't make any sense. And then I'm gonna just pack some of the same white right in there. I still feel like this part needs a little bit more. I really don't want to make it too dark. Okay. I don't even think I have a brown. Oh yeah, I do. But it's not gonna look right. So I gotta just persist with the bronzer, I think. Okay, getting there. So now, I'm gonna do just some of this. Actually, we're gonna get to this part, which is my favorite. This is this is a Super Shock white eyeshadow little thingy from, I think, Ulta. It's ColourPop, and I have worn it down. I've done it with every single makeup I have done in the past I don't even know. I was thinking it was really old the other night, but then I remembered I bought a new one right before I got married, so it's like not actually that old. I just use it so much. And I go into anywhere where I've done highlight and I just kind of accentuate it because it's like sparkly and it's super pigmented and it's really, really cute. Just anywhere where I've done the white. And just like kind of, I don't know, it just brings it together. So now I'm going to do mascara. I know that like the way you're supposed to do things is like the fake eyelashes and then mascara, but I hate getting mascara on my fake eyelashes. I think it looks gross. I know you're supposed to like blend it, but I really have never been able to tell a difference. So I'm just curling it. I just kind of hold it there for a second. It really doesn't matter. My eyelashes are usually very straight, but I permed them like 3 weeks ago. I can't. Oh. Girl! Okay, we fixed it. Where did that come from? Okay, anyway. But I permed my eyelashes like 3 weeks ago. So they have a little bit of lift to them right now. And like the guides I read online said, don't put like mascara on your bottom lashes. I'm going to anyway on this and here because I think it looks weird without it. And I didn't bring in my tweezers to kind of pinch them together. But like if you want them to be spiky, you just kind of like, you don't pinch them actually. You just kind of nudge them together gently and they'll stick. And maybe use a little bit more mascara than you typically would. But I didn't bring those in here and I don't really care because I also have these which I'm going to stick on the bottom. So I don't care. It's fine. I do that in my normal makeup. I started doing that in my normal makeup. So this... If I get black eyeliner on my face again while I'm doing this, I'm gonna freak out. No. I don't know where that came from. Weird. There was a period of time, like many, many years, where I did not wear mascara. I look back at that time like, what's wrong with me? Okay, now we're kind of getting to the point. So like gyaru makeup really doesn't do a whole lot with the lips, which to me, like just culturally, like where I live feels really weird. Because where I live in West Texas, it's like big eyelashes, crazy nails, and like big filler lips, huge, super accentuated. And that's just not really a thing in gyaru makeup. Like maybe you put on a little bit of lipstick like Yamamba, you just put white concealer and it looks cool. But like with Tsuyome, which is like what I like, this kind of style that I like the most, you don't really, it's like, you know, maybe a little bit of like lip gloss, like maybe a light pink, but you're like, you really, that's not the focus. I get that. I understand. But it just feels so strange to me. So I tinted my lips before I came in. I have like one of those ones that dries up and then you wipe it off. And I think that's sufficient. I would probably, after this, put on some like lip gloss or something. And like maybe draw in the lines of my lips a little bit more with like a lip pencil, like one that I have right here. And that's probably all I do. Okay. So now I'm going to use some of these eyelashes I got off of Amazon. They took forever to get here. It really wasn't worth it, but they're pretty cute. I like that. Okay. And I didn't bring my... You know what? I am going to go get those tweezers. Hold on. Okay. So I got those tweezers because it's really hard for me to put on lashes when I have nails on. This motion is like also, not particularly today, but like this motion is very hard for me to do with like the neurological stuff that I've had going on. So I gotta kind of use devices to get around that. So I'm just going to take these lashes, I'm going to put glue on them. I'm putting them on a plastic thing so they don't get glue everywhere. And just kind of let it sit for a second. There's so many air bubbles in this lash glue. This lash glue is also not good. I do not recommend it. Get like Kiss lash glue or something. This is just one that I got from probably Marshall's, truthfully. Because it's bad. But it's the only one I have. I did not wear strip lashes for a really long time because I was doing like eyelash extensions. I still really like those, but I just like right now with like the health stuff that I have going on, I have to be really careful with my eyes. And like basically I have to be like on the lookout for any kind of like loss of vision, change of vision or anything. And so I'm careful with it. I put makeup on and then I take it off a couple hours later and I think that's fine. But anything that can like affect my vision, it makes me kind of nervous. Because how am I supposed to know, oh, it's because I have on lash extensions and they're irritating my eye or my vision's degrading? I don't know. So I just have been very careful with it. So I haven't worn lash extensions in a really long time. I think since like last summer. And I kind of miss them, but also not really because they make my eyes itch. So, got the glue on this. I'm going to have to sit closer because I'm not very good at putting on lashes. I just kind of eyeball it, and I always, anytime I'm going to wear lashes, I make my mascara, or not my mascara, my eyeliner a little bit bigger because I never get them straight, and you can kind of cover it up with eyeliner. So, now I'm able to see this just putting lashes on. Maybe. This might be something I have to do off camera in my bathroom. Hold on a second. I'll come back and I'll show the, how I do the little lashes. Okay, I got them both more or less on the first try, so that would have been fine, but sometimes it takes me forever. And it also will take me forever with the little ones. And I made the droop kind of small, like the eyeliner part. So that, I may have to cut for that too. But basically what I do is I just take a little bit of lash glue and I kind of just like make a little puddle on their plastic holder. And I take my tweezers, I find the ones that I want. I usually just use like 2 of the biggest ones for each eye. And I just dunk it in and wait for them to cure a little bit. Or I guess dry. Curing would be nail stuff. And then I just stick them on. These are just like Ardell. They're made for like the stick-on lash extensions, but I didn't like them. They look a little bit weird on my upper eyelid, and they're too far spaced apart, so it just didn't, and they wouldn't stay. So I'm using them for this. I have no intention of using them as actual, like, the, like, cluster lash extensions ever again. So I just use them, boop, try to put them on, but it's going to be really difficult for me to do that because it's hard for me to do this motion. So I'm going to cut for that too. I'll come back when I got it done. Okay, so this is basically the finished look. What do you think? I just went ahead and glued those on. These are totally smaller than the ones over here. Didn't realize that until they were on, and I'm like out of the big one. So I really should have done big one, small one, like that. in the future I will do that. My bad, but I don't know. It looks cool anyway. So yeah, that's basically what I did. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, or if you have any suggestions, just let me know. But that's basically how I do this look. So thank you for watching.